Hello there everyone, and welcome to my Skyrim Alchemy guide, something I've been wanting to do for quite a while. I'm going to keep it nice and short. In this video, I'm just going to show you a whole bunch of different potions that could be helpful to you. And I've split the potions into 4 categories: support potions, restorative potions, poisons, and profit potions. And I'll be leaving timestamps for all of those, just in case you want to make the video even shorter. Now, I'm doing this with a character with 100 alchemy, however no perks whatsoever. And I'm not wearing any enchanted gear or anything like that. I will, just to prove it, I'll show you quickly. Check that everything's all in order. Just basic. Just as basic as is humanly possible. I put it at 100 alchemy just so the potions are all going to be at equal strength. So they're easily comparable. Now, to start off, I'm going to go through a few support potions. These kind of buff the character or give you some kind of benefit that can be just very, very helpful when playing. First off, Blister Wort and Glowing Mushroom, which is... where is it? There. Potion of Fortified Smithing. Pretty explanatory for why it's helpful. Improve your smithing to improve your weapons to a greater extent, or your armour. Just a nice standard one. Glowing Mushroom and Blister Wort are also fairly common ingredients, not too difficult to find. Next up, Blue Butterfly Wing, which is up here, and Snowberries. Once again, 2 very common ingredients which are easy to find, and that's a theme with a lot of my potions. I avoid too many potions that are incredibly difficult to make, but this makes a potion of Fortify Enchanting. Now, Fortify Enchanting potions typically aren't stupidly strong. I think the maximum they tend to get up to is 25%, so it's not going to make a drastic difference to your enchanting, but they're definitely worth doing if you're making an enchanting or alchemy-based character. Next up, we have Fortify One-Handed, and the easiest potion I find for this is Hanging Moss and Rock Warbler Egg. Now, Rock Warbler Egg is obviously the slightly more difficult one to just come across, however it is a very cheap ingredient. I find most of these in Markarth normally, and Hanging Moss is just everywhere. And yep, Potion of Fortify One-Handed, good for any one-handed warrior. Something that you'll want a lot of if you're playing that kind of build. And next up, we have something for two-handed warriors. Now this is Dragon's Tongue and Fly Amanita. Once again, 2 very common ingredients, and this is a Fortify two-handed potion, but also happens to have resist fire damage, which is just a nice added bonus. You may as well go for it, seeing as you can. Now, after this, something for all of the archers out there, because we know how popular archery is, Elves Ear and Juniper Berries. Juniper Berries are everywhere in the Reach, so you can find them there, and Elves Ear, you find them in any alchemy-based place. They're in lots of shops as well, and hanging up all over the place. Fortify Marksman for any bow users. And now for offensive mages, I have a Fortify Destruction Potion, and... where's Nightshade? There we go. Nightshade, and once again, Glowing Mushroom. As always, easy ingredients to find. Fortify Destruction. These are quite potent. You see, 30% stronger. Yeah, Fortify Destruction is a very, very nice support one for any mage. So that was all for support potions. All of the ingredients there are pretty easy to find, and they're also cheap to buy. Rock Warbler Egg was the most difficult one for me to get a large number of at any point. But even then, you can just go across enough merchants, and enough of them will have it that it's not going to be a huge deal. Now we're on to restorative potions. And we're going to start with what's probably my favourite one, and also the easiest one to just make. Just Blue Mountain Flower, and... scroll all the way to the bottom. Does take a while to get here, unfortunately. Wheat. Fortify Health and Restore Health. Double whammy there. With 2 of the most common ingredients in the game. If you're picking up all the ingredients you see, you will likely end up with hundreds and hundreds of wheat and Blue Mountain Flower. So that's a really easy one. Hotkey it as well, and you've got a quick way to heal yourself. Next up, something for mages, which is the first 3-piece potion I'm throwing on here. And let's start with, yep, Moratapanella, Red Mountain Flower, and Tundra Cotton. These are all pretty common ingredients, Tundra Cotton and Red Mountain Flower especially, and there we go, Fortify Magicka and Restore Magicka. A double whammy there. So good for any mages. Fortify Magicka is also incredibly helpful for if you're just a little under a spell you need. And I've only got one more actual restorative potion I've decided to throw on here, because I am keeping it nice and simple, which is garlic, juniper berries, and salt pile. Now you will notice that a few of the ingredients are being used in multiple potions, but that shouldn't be a huge problem because none of the ingredients are too rare. And there we go, regenerate health and regenerate magicka for 300 seconds. That's very, very nice one for just keeping you in a fight or keeping your magic topped up. Now I'm going to move over to poisons. And we'll start with a very, very, very simple one, but a personal favourite of mine. Anyone who watches any of my Let's Play style content will know this one. Jarin Root and Impstool. Impstool's down here. Poison of Paralysis. Just, God, that's the best poison in the entire game in my opinion. Just a straight up paralysis poison. If you want to add some damage in as well, you can just throw in Red Mountain Flower, which once again grows everywhere, and you get a bit of damage on there too, which is lovely. Now I've got a bit of a rare one. First proper rare ingredient, human flesh. You will not have come across this a lot, but there's one good potion you can really make with it. So human flesh and Impstool, that straight away got you to the paralysis poison there. One sec, I'm going to double check I did actually. Yeah, paralysis with damage. Then on top of that, if you throw in Scafecraw, which you need to go to the island of Solstheim to get to, bosh, additional damage. So you've got paralysis, damage over time, and standard poison damage. It's quite a nice combination there. Additionally, if you're looking for a slightly easier one to make, get rid of human flesh and replace it with a skeever tail. Do this and you lose the paralysis but get more damage. This is probably the best damaging poison you can make, because you get the straight up normal damage, then concentrated damage, which is the ravage health effect, then lingering poison damage as well. So that's 3 types of damage in one poison, which is lovely. And now, one that's a lot easier to make, no worry about foraging around for hours for ingredients. Deathbell, which grows everywhere. Seriously, you have trouble not coming across Deathbell when you just travel around Skyrim. There's a lot of it in the whole Riften area, that's where I get a lot of mine. Along with River Betty, which you can get from either swimming around or through barrels. And that's a poison of slow with some damage health to it as well. Poisons of slow are great against any melee-based attacker. Giants in particular, I love using them against, because giants don't move that quickly anyway. If you halve their speed, suddenly they're not going to be able to catch up to you. So, that was it for my poisons, but obviously all of these potions are good and all, but if your alchemy skill's really low, they're not going to be amazing. So finally, I'll move on to profit/leveling potions. The way alchemy works, the more valuable the potion you create, the more it levels you up. And the most valuable potion that I use is garlic, Nordic barnacle, which is somewhere around here, there it is, and salmon roe. Salmon roe you need the Half-Eye DLC to have, and you need to catch a salmon that's jumping upstream. Sounds a bit more complicated than it is. If you watch my survival mode walkthrough/let's play thing, you know about this. Yeah, throw on a salmon roe, and look at that, 1900. That is just stupidly valuable right there. One of the best just profit/leveling potions you can make. It's the best one I've got on my list. I've heard rumours that there's like a boar tusk plus hanging moss plus wheat, I think it is, might be more valuable, but I haven't tried that one out, and it's a lot more difficult to make. This one, the ingredients aren't incredibly difficult. Nordic barnacles underwater, garlic's everywhere, and salmon roe just takes a bit of time spent on streams and on waterfalls catching it. Now, next up, one that's a bit easier to make in bulk, depending on your level more than anything, because this often requires a fair bit of combat, but bear claws, giant's toe, which often involves killing a giant, however, doesn't have the highest value in the world, so if you see it on merchants, buying it, you can get your money back by using this potion. Giant's toe, and finally an easy one, hanging moss. There we go, 870. Obviously, less than half of the previous potion, but a bit easier to come across. You can also buy all 3 ingredients from alchemists fairly regularly, so you can literally just buy the ingredients, make the potion, sell the potion back, like quadruple your money. in seconds, even with the lowest speech skill. And as another one, in case you didn't like either of those, yeah, I've got a lot of these potions actually. I decided to make this the big bit. So Creep Cluster, Death Bell, and where are you? River Betty. Once again, fairly common ingredients. This one you can use as an offensive potion as well, because it's a Death Bell plus River Betty, which was a slow one. But if you throw in Creep Cluster as well, it ups the value, thanks to a Fortify carry capacity and effect added on as well. Now for one that's really, well, now we're going to go on to ones that are really easy to make in bulk. The other three were alright, you can make like half a dozen at a time without too much trouble, especially if you're buying ingredients, but these ones, you'll have just tons of them. So first up, Dragon's Tongue, Flyamanita, and Moratapanella. Go down to Moratapanella, please, Sarge. Thank you. Look at that, 476. Less than 500 gold with a 100 alchemy character. No perks, remember, though. But that's still pretty good. That will clear out a merchant quite easily. Now, next up is one I've been using pretty much since I started playing the game, which is Blue Butterfly Wing, Blue Mountain Flower, and then we scroll all the way down because they're in alphabetical order. Yep, lots of scrolling. There we go, and wheat. 444. Nice, solid amount there. Nothing at all difficult to find. The starting area with the whole hold of Whiterun, you get so much of all three of these ingredients. Now next up, we've got wheat again. Then throw in, instead of Blue Mountain Flower, go for purple. And also throw in Frost Miriam. Ta-da! Only, what's that, 9 points, well, 9 gold less. But quite good if you're running low on either Blue Butterfly Wings or Blue Mountain Flower. More likely you're running low on Butterfly Wings than anything. And finally, I have one more potion just for selling, which is Blue Mountain Flower, Hanging Moss, which is there, and Lavender. This is another one I use all the time. 423 value there, so the lowest value of all of those, but you can just bulk make it so quickly that you'll level yourself up constantly, and get a ton of gold flying. So that was it, just a very quick alchemy guide showing you a bunch of useful potions you can make. If there's any potions you particularly think should have been left on here, then put them in the comment section below, and also if anyone's got a question about anything alchemy related, feel free to ask. I'm sure I'll be able to answer. I just wanted to make this video nice and short for anyone who's just casually watching and wanted a few good potions to make. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for tons and tons of Skyrim based stuff, like the video if you enjoyed, and share it if you know anyone who's trying to get into the alchemy side of Skyrim. Thank you all for watching. Sarge out.